Welcome to Broken to Better. My name is Josh, and this is my journey from 450 plus pounds to healthy. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how my life has completely transformed after losing about 138 pounds in 9 months. Now, I'm still going, I'm still fat, but uh, my life is completely different inside of 9 months. And in a lot of ways, that kind of shocked me, and I wasn't really prepared for. So, if you're thinking about getting on your own journey, or maybe you just started one, be prepared because some things are going to change. And this is what's changed for me. So, first, let's talk about the physical and the physical transformation beyond the scale. First, I've got a ton more energy. I know it doesn't really come off in some of my past videos because I'm trying to be a little bit more muted, but I, I'm full of energy now. So much so that, before I would get tired at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Not so much not anymore, actually, I should say. I've got energy even after an intense workout, even after a 5 mile walk with a 30-pound pack on. I'm still rare and ready to go. My sleep. Now, sleep is so insanely important, and my sleep prior to me starting this journey was horrendous. But now I sleep throughout the night. I sleep so much better, and I get reports that I don't snore, and if I do, it's because I've contorted myself into some weird position, and even then, it doesn't wake anybody up. Uh, Reduced aches and pains obviously seems like a no-brainer. However, one caveat that I want to put to that is when I was in my late teens, I sustained a couple of injuries, mostly to my back and my shoulder. I, I'm always going to be in some sort of pain. I'm not having surgeries. I refuse to do that for a lot of different reasons. But uh, the pain then versus now is so much more different. So the pain that I do feel now is very, very, very muted. It's manageable. I don't even take Tylenol or Advil or Motrin 800s anymore. I don't have any mobility issues anymore. I can do anything that I want to do within reason. I don't think I'm going to go climb Everest anytime soon, but all the things that I need to do and work around the house and stuff like that, I can do just fine. And even when I have a more intense workout, sure I'm sore, but I don't ache like I used to after walking to the fridge. Moreover, I guess a good thing to point out. I'm 42 right now, and back when I first started this, or before I started this, I would wake up and my bones would creak, my muscles would be stiff, and I would just snap, crackle, and pop all the way to the bathroom. That's gone. I don't. My body doesn't do that anymore. Next, I want to talk about mental and emotional changes. So, first off, I've got a lot more confidence in social settings than I ever did. Now, I'm still kind of conscious about a few things, but weight is not one of them. Uh, as an example, I walk taller. I hold my head up unless I'm looking down at my phone. And it doesn't matter if I'm going into the gym, going to the grocery store to buy some chicken and vegetables, or I'm on a hike and bike trail. Doesn't matter. I walk with purpose. I have less anxiety about being judged because, it finally occurred to me probably about 3 months in this journey that if I really truly cared about what other people thought, I would have never have let myself get to 450 pounds or more in the first place. So I just don't care anymore. And obviously improve self-respect, self-image, and mental resilience. Relationships and social life has changed. So, for example, my friends, my family, coworkers, they treat me a little different. Not better or worse, but different. The way they talk, the way they interact. I feel more comfortable engaging in new activities, and I say yes to new opportunities. And I'm going to expand on that here in a little bit. Just keep that in mind. Back before I started this journey, and even before COVID, really, I had built habits that intentionally isolated myself from social situations. I don't do that anymore. All those isolation habits I have broke down systematically. Um, Work and productivity. Obviously, sharper focus, more mental clarity. And here's the big one, and this ties into what I was just saying. So I have got different goals now. I used to be a company man, and I'm not going to get into the whole dive into all of that, but suffice to say, um, I was perfectly fine with working extreme hours, taking on a lot of extra responsibility. And what I was really doing is I was just taking on extra work to make other people more money. I'm done doing that. So I've got a couple of startups going on the side, things that I would have never got into, and I don't want to talk about them because they're not really important to this conversation. However, what I will say is I'm doing it because I want to at least take the chance to try to make my life and my family's life better, but also um, it's stuff that excites me and it's cool, and I just want to do cool things. So whether they make a lot of money or they just pay the bills doesn't matter. I just want to do cool things. Another thing that I've seen creeping in, so I knew from the get go that I was going to have to be very, very disciplined with my lifestyle changes and the choices that I made, especially concerning food. What I didn't account for is how these discipline changes that I knew I was going to have to make would creep into other areas of my life. So, for example, with work, I'm much more focused, I'm much more disciplined. I've started applying the signal to noise philosophy. So, things that don't really matter today, I deal with those tomorrow. I only work on the things that matter today. Whereas before, I used to be all over the place. Um, Future vision, and this is so important. I don't want to get into details, but back before I started this wellness journey, I will just say that my philosophy was I was okay with dying. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to hurt myself. I didn't want to hurt other people. I wasn't clinically depressed, but I guarantee I was depressed a little bit. And this transformation that I've gone through, that's not my, I'm not okay with dying early. I mean, I know it's going to happen eventually, but I want to live as much life as I can. My philosophy before was, I've already had the best years of my life, and I screwed them away. I worked for people that didn't appreciate it. I didn't build anything. And now I look at it as like I'm not at the end of my life. I'm just in a new chapter, and I've got lots of time to start building things and doing cool things and trying to help as people, and just try to be a force for good in this world. I don't know if I'll be successful in any of that, but damn it, I got to try, right? Now there's a sense of possibility, whereas before, I kind of, somebody once told me that, Josh, your problem is you see things the way they are and you think that's the best they'll ever be. And this person wasn't wrong. Pains me to say that because that person ended up being a total scumbag, but he wasn't wrong. And so I now have this sense of possibility about the future and things that I can do and potential that's out there. I want to remind people that even though I'm still midway in my journey, yeah, sure, I've lost 138 pounds, but I'm still fat. I still have a way to go. My journey's still ongoing, and even when I get to my goal weight, that doesn't mean that the journey's over. That's just a new part of the journey. And then I got to figure some things out when I get there, and you bet I'm going to record them. But the overarching thing here is the journey's ongoing. It's never done. We should always be trying to grow as a person. We should always be trying to grow physically, or not physically, but mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. So I want to close this out, and I just want to say, like, look, losing these 138 pounds turns out it just wasn't for health reasons. This weight loss and the things that I'm doing in this, to get healthier, to get better, have really, really transformed all the other areas in my life. And if somebody would have told me, it just occurred to me, excuse me, it just occurred to me as I'm making this video that somebody did tell me. Now, I have this friend, very good friend, And he's kind of like Nostradamus in a way, and it's kind of irritating me. 2 years ago, we were having this kind of philosophical discussion, and I was very angry with my life. I wasn't happy, and there's a lot of reasons why. And he said to me, he said, Josh, give it 5 years. I bet you're going to be a different person. And he was right. And it just occurred to me that that conversation took place. So anyway, I want to hear from you guys. Look, anybody that's watching this video, if you've been on a weight loss experience yourself and have noticed changes, what changes unexpectedly impacted your life? For those that are thinking about getting on a journey, stop thinking, just do it. You're going to feel better, I promise. Not every day is going to be a victory. You're going to have setbacks, and you're going to have to push through those. But I guarantee it. I promise you. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Wayne Gretzky said it. Michael Scott said it. Little joke. Bad joke. But it's true. You're never going to be ready. I wasn't ready when I started this. Hell, I'm still not ready. Every day I'm learning more and more and more about myself and what I'm capable of and the possibilities out there. And I'm 42. Trust me. Get out there and just do it. Do what you can when you can. On that note, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.